Listen, I had to make this video. Devin Haney basically says that he's surprised that Shakur Stevenson isn't ego up him up. He ain't dumping on Devin Haney after he suffered such a fateful loss to Ryan Garcia. He's basically saying that Shakur, quote unquote, kept it real. I don't agree with this, but I'll explain in this video why. So I made this for you guys. Make sure you guys follow along right here. So definitely on my right here, this is my current Instagram. I think everybody should be following me right there. You guys see it. BOXINGEGO 1. You guys should be able to see that on the screen. Please follow along and follow my page, man. We're almost to 60,000 and it's lit. I want you guys to pay special attention, close attention to that post that you guys see on the screen. Devin Haney says he didn't expect, let me just enlarge it for you guys. Devin Haney says he didn't expect Shakur Stevenson to not ish on him after his loss. There was a dialogue between Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson, which I've captured for you guys. And it said a lot of ninjas that was undercover hating took the opportunity to show they self. But Kur, meaning Shakur Stevenson, is honestly one of the people least expected to not ish on me and actually kept it 1,000 on what actually went on. And then he has the handshake emoji, right? So he's basically saying that Shakur Stevenson was one of the people that he, I guess, didn't expect would have his back, if you will. Shakur Stevenson seen this and he said, bounce back, broski. We gonna line it up in the future one day. So no real issue with Shakur's response. I don't really have anything to say about Shakur, you know, responding how he did, whatever. Now, we got to talk about what Devin Haney is saying. I completely disagree with what the premise of what Devin Haney is saying. And I do not like lack of accountability, and I do not like revisionist history. So to explain it further, let's recap what he said. He said a lot of ninjas that was undercover hating took the opportunity to show they self, but Shakur basically kept it real, kept it 1,000 on what actually went on. Completely false. In the words of Tupac Shakur, I reject your deposit. Now, the reason is why I'm saying revisionist history, because it's like Christopher Columbus. In school, when I was in school, they taught us in school that Christopher Columbus discovered America 1492. It's inaccurate. You can't discover a land full of people that are already inhabitants of that. The indigenous people of this land, they already had an ecosystem. They already had hierarchies and, you know, a government. You know, they had ways to hunt. So you didn't discover anything. So that's revision. That's an example of revisionist history where, you know, lies are spread and people say, oh, Columbus discovered America. He was not the one that discovered America. Point blank, period. Again, you can't discover. That's like me going to McDonald's and say I'm the founder of McDonald's, but it's already established. They're already making burgers. I didn't discover anything. They're already a whole operation. So what's happening here is I'm seeing that with Devin Haney. He's like, to me, kind of playing victim and saying there was a lot of ninjas that was undercover hating that took the opportunity to show themselves when he lost. But that's literally not what happened. What did happen, and this is what I said, back to what I said earlier, the lack of accountability. What did happen is I think Team Haney at some point became arrogant and got too big for their britches. They talked down on people and, you know, created and started picking fights internally in boxing and also with boxers. That's what happened. So it's not this woe is me. And I hate when people do that and try to act like woe is me. It sounds like Devin is surprised that Shakur Stevenson is not kicking him while he's down. Credit to Shakur Stevenson for his approach. But again, all the other people that Team Haney and the Haneyacks kind of attacked, that's why I think during this loss with Ryan Garcia, some people don't care. Like a lot of Ryan Garcia's fans don't necessarily care that he cheated. And then people seemingly came out the woodwork. When you're winning, there's nothing really anyone can say when you're winning. But you got to stay winning if you approach situations like that, right? When you're attacking everybody, like for example, Gervonta Davis, we know the Haneyacks and Team Haney frequently brought Gervonta Davis's name up in a slanderous way to defame him, to try to steal the play, et cetera, et cetera. So Tank, being who he is, he's not going to take the quote unquote high road and all that. Shakur, if he decides to, it is what it is. But now it looks like the ops of Tank are kind of linking up because Shakur and Devin, they've sparred together. I'm not going to say they're friends, but at least they're friendly in the past up until their names were kind of pitted against each other. And then there was a lot of back and forth. Shakur talking about send the contract and I'll whoop you. And then there was some disrespect. So I think in that, Devin Haney is surprised. Listen to what he said. He says a lot of undercover hating and people took the opportunity to show themselves. But Shakur is honestly one of the people last expected to not ish on me that actually kept it 1,000. So I always look at language in any situation. Ego, I look at what people say, because language, be it verbally, someone's vernacular, the choice words, and body language, people tell on themselves. Why would he say Shakur is honestly one of the people least expected to not ish on me, basically kick me while I'm down? Why would you say that if you hadn't brought this toxic energy into the sport of boxing? Like, if you're not talking bad about Shakur or other people and you're treating people fair, why would you say, hey, I'm like, basically you're saying, I'm surprised that Shakur is not taking this opportunity to bag on me when things go well. And, again, for whatever reason, Shakur chose that, fair play. But why would you say that you least expect him to do that if you were treating him good and, the Haneyacks were treating him good? You wouldn't even need to say that. So to me, I think this shows what the real issue is. That's why I don't like this revisionist history from Team Haney acting like they didn't create all these small fires with fighters. Like, for example, just to give you an example, I guess you could say, when Richardson Hitchens just had a tough fight with that Lemos dude from Argentina, Team Haney went to social media and then like, man, he suck, and that kind of business. You guys can go look up and find the tweets, but they didn't say nice things about it because there's an ongoing beef between Richardson and Hitchens. When Tank Davis was getting ready to fight, Team Haney would say, oh, the Mayweather era is over, Tank era is over, don't let him pee on your leg and tell you it's raining. This is what they were saying, Team Haney. So when the energy comes back to you, you can't really be surprised, right? And I mean, you can do whatever you want, but to me, it's not surprising, right? So to me, this is almost like an admission of guilt and proving what I said. The fact that you're surprised that Shakur Stevenson is not fully unloading the clip and using this moment and dumping on you. You know what I mean? But then again, he's his own person. He don't have a great relationship, it sounds like, with Ryan Garcia, because I have the audio and I was on the X Spaces where they had Ryan Garcia and he brought him along, and Ryan Garcia was saying that Shakur pooped his pants or something in the amateurs, and he's doing interviews. So is he really keeping it real, or is he just saying something that you like? You know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about with revisionist history. It's the same thing on my channel. When I say something, people, because they're emotional, even if despite it being the 100% truth, some people will say, oh, that's not true, ego, but I can prove it's true. I can prove this video right now. In fact, I will. So this is Shakur Stevenson, and he jumped in the ring after Devin Haney Lomachenko. And then Devin Haney and team ran out the ring when Shakur was trying to do like a face-off or whatever the case is. So what Devin is saying, I totally disagree with. He's making it like, oh, Shakur is just being so honest with the situation and yada, yada, yada. You're bigging up Shakur for being the bigger person and not doing what a lot of other people are doing, which is roasting you, clowning you, and bagging because of how your team act. There needs to be some accountability in the world of boxing. That's 100% what it is. And in the next minute, I will prove to you what I am talking about. So stay tuned to the end of this video. So you guys can see right here, Haney to Stevenson. I should have offered this bum 10%. I was being generous. So when Devin Haney is saying, oh, Shakur's keeping it so real and things like that, I don't think that's the case at all. I think that Devin Haney and team, they're surprised that when they went low on fighters, or at least a fighter like Shakur Stevenson, that he's taking the high road. That's what this is. Because you said he was a bum after the Edwin De Los Santos fight, and you said you should have offered him 10%. And now you're probably happy because there's thousands of memes, millions of views of the Ryan Garcia fight. Some people are saying, hey, you still made mistakes regardless if Ryan was on something or not. You couldn't get away from the left hook, and the conversation is shifting. And because Shakur Stevenson is not, again, taking it there or going low, I think that's what this is about. He's talking about the haters exposed themselves and showed their true colors. It's none of that. Your team treated people nasty, said a lot about a lot of people, and if you do that, that's fine. But if you stop winning and get cooked by Ryan Garcia in that fashion, this is the snowball effect that happens after, right? That's why I always believe in treating people well, you know, being the best person you could be, paying it forward, stuff like that. So he's, you know, they're showing some brotherhood, if you will, or camaraderie, but it's in the language. He said Shakur is honestly one of the people least expected to not ish on me. There's no other reason. Let me know another reason in the comment section why you would say that he's one of the least people that you would expect to basically have your back if you didn't say foul stuff about the person. Like, if I had a great relationship, like shout out to my boy Jesse Carl from Stockton. I'll just use him as an example. He's a regular on the channel. Me and him have a great relationship. We talk on sidebars. He's never wronged me. I've never wronged him. I've never done anything negative to him. So why would I ever say, oh, Jesse Carl is one of the least expected people to ish on me? I would never expect him to ish on me because I've never done anything to him. However, Devin is telling on himself that, hey, we put out this toxic energy, and had that not been the case, you would have never said that Shakur was one of the people that you expected not to ish on you, given the circumstance and the Garcia loss as it sits. That's how that works. You're surprised because you had a beef with Shakur and you were saying stuff like Haney on Stevenson, quote, I should have offered this bum 10%. I was being too generous. So now it sounds like Devin Haney is surprised that in this time of need or downtime that Shakur Stevenson isn't using this moment to, you know, embarrass him or whatever the case is. But that's great for Shakur. It's all the other people that you spread negativity to, maybe they have a different approach, or maybe there's an ulterior motive for Shakur. But at the end of the day, it's not going to prevent all the other people that you may have offended. And that's what I said. I think somewhere along the way, Team Haney, they kind of got too big for their britches and thought, you know, they could disrespect people. And that is always going to not be the play and come back to haunt you. And I think Devin is a great fighter. He's a terrific fighter, had a very bad night, but if you talk the talk, you got to be able to walk the walk, especially if you are disrespectful to people along the way. Richardson Hitchens was a target. Shakur Stevenson has frequently been a target for Team Haney, right? Bill Haney's calling out Jared Big Baby Anderson, right? Things like that. Gervonta Davis is frequently thrown up. Bill Haney is arguing with Floyd Mayweather online and, you know, trash talking him, trash talking Leonard Ellerbe. So all of this is cap to me. It's revisionist history. You are surprised that Shakur Stevenson is not treating you like Gervonta. He's not dissing you, given what you've said in these moments and stuff with Shakur Stevenson. You're surprised he's being the bigger person. And that's the way I see it. And to avoid this, I really think you just don't treat people bad. If you don't treat people bad, then you don't have to worry about it. Like, you never seen the way, if you look at the fall from grace when Devin lost, other people have lost before, but the culture embraced those fallen fighters. A lot of times, especially like black fighters, like Errol Spence. Errol Spence did a lot of right things. He just came up short against the man on the screen who's a great fighter, Terrence Bud Crawford, right? So Errol, you know, maybe some people made some memes and stuff, but people were overall sympathetic. He's a warrior. He's been through a lot with the car accident. Crawford's a great fighter. There's no real shame. So it didn't hit the same, even when Errol Spence got cooked basically by Terrence Crawford. But then when Devin's team pushes Lomachenko, pushes Ryan Garcia, Bill Haney says he wants to off Ryan Garcia and take him off this planet, and he's sending his son to do that and fight this style of fight, head up, and Ryan's mama should have swallowed him, and all the stuff that the Haney said, and then they couldn't make good on the promises. Also, things like Lomachenko, that fight was extremely close. You never rematch Lomachenko. And when his team, Aegis Klimas, reached out to Devin Haney asking for a Lomachenko rematch, Devin Haney said, "I'm busy having a three-way." That literally was his response. So I think that's why Devin Haney is surprised by Shakur Stevenson, and the fact that Shakur Stevenson is not dogging him right now, because he has every right to. That's the only reason you would say that, is if you dog somebody out and then it's a low moment for you. That's why you would say, oh, one of the guys and the people that I least expected. You're basically saying this is one of the people that I least expected to be on my side or not treat me bad. And again, Shakur has every right to do exactly what Ryan Garcia is doing, you know, minus the drug stuff, which I'm not going to get into in this video. Everything that, you know, Richardson Hitchens, Keyshawn Davis, there's a lot of people. Keyshawn Davis just did an interview with Fight Hype, and he laughing at the Devin Haney scene. You know what I mean? He's laughing at the Devin Haney. He's like, man, you tripping off the drug tests. You was getting caught up with the left hook, and he's not showing no mercy. The only person out of that kind of youthful bunch that's kind of showing, you know, Teofimo has, he's been kind of quiet, but Teofimo still took a couple jabs. Ryan took some jabs. Tank definitely took some jabs. Everybody's taking jabs. Shakur's probably been the most respectful. Keyshawn, you know, basically everybody that Devin Haney's team kind of waged a war with have almost thrown this in Devin Haney's face, and that's just the reality of it. You got too big for your britches. You're walking around, you know, bigger than your opponents with these crazy rehydrations, and then when someone does the weight games and tries to finesse you, it's a problem. You're walking around, you know, with these statements like "fight us in the center of the ring," and then you have noodle legs throughout most of the fight. You left Floyd Sr., who was a great trainer. You got your dad training. And then he's beefing with Floyd Mayweather on the phone. Like, all these are bad things. And that's what I said. For Devin Haney, I would clean house when it comes to my team. Some people are here for the ride. What I'm saying might sound harsh, but I don't say things that I don't mean. And at the end of the day, I have less and less, if a man is not going to take accountability for their actions and their shortcomings, then I truly have less and less faith that they're going to get it all the way correct. A lot of things went wrong in the Ryan Garcia fight. And from what I'm seeing, and it's just little spot glimpses and stuff, I'm seeing very little accountability for Devin Haney and from his team. Like, why didn't you have a rehydration same day weigh-in? Why didn't you have a rematch clause? Why is your dad training you if he can't help you out of these sticky moments? A lot of questions, basically, that need to be answered. And then now, because the rest of the world is pretty much, you know, I guess kicking the man while he's down or bringing up these facts, whatever you want to call, constructive criticism, whatever you want to call. And some people don't care if Ryan cheated, all that type of stuff. Devin's feeling the type of way. And he's now, his ally is Shakur Stevenson, the guy he also dissed. And he's like, man, Shakur keeping it real. Is he? Is he really keeping it real? Or is he just saying something you like? Let me know that in the comment section.